So, what if astrology wasn't really about predicting your future, but about remembering your past? Not just your past in this life, but across many. In this explainer, we're going to dive into a totally different perspective, one that sees the zodiac as a kind of map for the soul's epic journey. Let's get into it.
You know that feeling, right? That weird sense of déjà vu when you meet a total stranger? Or maybe you have a skill you never really learned, but you just know how to do it. Or what about a fear that just makes zero logical sense? What if those aren't just random glitches in your brain?
Well, from this point of view, moments like that are actually spiritual breadcrumbs. They're clues, left by your soul across countless lifetimes. It's like they're little whispers suggesting that this life, it isn't a one-off story. It's just a single chapter in a much, much longer book.
And look, this idea of a soul remembering, it's not new, not by a long shot. It's actually a theme you find woven into so many ancient traditions, a core truth about how they saw the world.
What's really fascinating is how many different cultures landed on this same basic idea. You've got the ancient Egyptians, who believed the soul would return. You see it in Hindu philosophy, with its intricate mapping of karma and dharma across many lives. There were even early Gnostic and Christian teachings that talked about souls existing before they were born. The common thread through all of them is this powerful idea that this life, it's not the beginning, and it's not the end.
Okay, but here's where it gets even deeper. This perspective suggests the whole cycle of rebirth isn't some random chaotic process. It's more like a curriculum, a structured journey that the soul actually designs for itself.
So if life is a class, what's the syllabus? Well, in this view, it's the zodiac. And I'm not talking about your daily will you find love horoscope. We're talking about the zodiac as a sacred framework for the soul's evolution. It's less about entertainment and way more about initiation.
And that really gets to the heart of the difference here. On one side, you have pop astrology, where the focus is all about prediction and personality traits. But esoteric astrology completely shifts that focus to initiation and purpose. And this changes the entire concept. It's no longer about a predetermined fate you're just stuck with, but about a cosmic design you're here to consciously live out.
So if you follow that logic, your birth chart, it stops being this random snapshot of the sky the moment you were born. It becomes the syllabus for this specific lifetime. It maps out the exact lessons, the challenges, and the awakenings your soul literally signed up to experience. The whole idea is that your chart isn't an accident. It's an assignment.
All right, so how does this whole curriculum actually work? In this system, the 12 signs of the zodiac are way more than just personality types. Think of them more like 12 massive, archetypal gates, lessons the soul has to master on its long journey home. Now, the idea here is that a soul doesn't just blitz through all 12 of these in one lifetime. No way. So let's just grab 4 key ones to get the vibe. A soul might start with the fiery spark of Aries, that raw will to simply be. Then it might spend a few lifetimes in Taurus, learning to ground that will in the physical world. Eventually, it has to face the intense transformation of Scorpio, death, shadow, rebirth, the whole shebang, all on the path toward the ultimate release in Pisces, where the ego finally surrenders and merges back with everything.
So you see, each and every sign becomes this profound trial, an initiation. It's a chapter that you might be living right now, one you've already lived, or one that's waiting for you down the road. It's all part of your soul's bigger, secret story.
And this leads to one of the most powerful ideas in this whole framework: sacred contracts. The concept is that before we even get here, our soul makes these agreements, a plan it designs for itself.
And that's what's called a soul contract. It's this pre-life agreement that's set to outline all the key relationships, the big challenges, and the karmic patterns a soul agrees to take on. Suddenly, you're not just a victim of fate, you're a co-author of your own destiny.
Okay, but this brings up the biggest question of all, right? Why on earth would any soul choose to have a hard time? Well, the answer from this perspective is pretty simple. Real growth doesn't happen when we're comfortable. The soul knows that wisdom isn't given, it's earned, and that true compassion, that's born from working through our own pain and turning it into love.
When you look at it this way, it changes everything. Your deepest wounds, those impossible relationships, your greatest challenges, they're not random, meaningless tragedies. They're appointments. Appointments your soul scheduled for its own awakening. And really getting this, it completely transforms your relationship with your own life. It moves you out of this old story of karma being some kind of punishment and into the powerful art of spiritual alchemy. The whole script just flips.
You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, why did I choose this? What is the lesson here that my soul wanted to learn?
And that question, it's not about blaming yourself. Not at all. It's about reclaiming your power. The goal is to remember that you are here by sacred design, not by accident. You move from being a victim of your story to becoming the master of it, the alchemist in the laboratory of your own soul.
So life, in this model, isn't a punishment you have to endure. It's the alchemist's fire. Suffering isn't just arbitrary pain, it's catalytic. It's the very heat that's needed to turn the heavy lead of your wounds and challenges into the brilliant gold of your soul.
So let's put it all together. From this perspective, the blueprint was set, the curriculum was chosen, the contracts were signed before you even got here. But you are the one living it. You hold the pen for this chapter. The story was already written, but you are the author. So the only real question left is, what will you remember now?